Hey there guys, this is Chauncey J. Kent, and welcome to our first episode of Minecraft Academy. And this is a tutorial series that is going to take you from being an absolute complete newcomer to the game and continuing to teach you stuff and make you just like totally awesome pro sauce. Yeah, I don't know. And I swear I did not plan this. Initials for first and middle name would be CJ, as you guys know, and apparently I'm supposed to follow the train. I don't know what Minecraft's trying to tell me there, but all right. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. So I'm going to actually answer a couple of questions in this particular episode, which will have noticed from the episode title. First up is why craft, or more specifically, why play Minecraft? I mean, there's a lot of different motivations for it. First, we can go ahead and take a look at what Minecraft is. It's a sandbox-style survival simulation game. Now, real quick, just for people that don't know, we're going to break that down. And, the survival part is pretty obvious. You're out in the world, it's open, you don't have any resources, so you have to gather resources and build shelter and grow or hunt or gather food. Water isn't actually a concern survival-wise in the game, but you do have to survive the elements, which in this case isn't like rain and snow, but it's actually monsters that will pop into existence or spawn during the nights. So, yeah, I mean, that's the survival aspect of it, and it's fairly self-explanatory. The second part, the sandbox style part of it, is describing how the game works. Like, you'll play... Back in the day, you had games, and they were basically just, you played one mission, then another, then another, and then another, and you would get to the end, and you would beat the game, and that was it. It's done. It's over. You can replay it if you want, but it's the same thing. Minecraft doesn't work like that. Now, it does have a natural storyline conclusion, but you can continue playing after that, and a lot of the value in the game isn't really in necessarily beating that storyline they have set up for you, but actually just in what you can do in the world, and like you can build cities or skyscrapers or dungeons or just anything you can imagine, pretty much. So, and I mean, that's one of the reasons to play right there, is like if you love building, like if you played with Legos when you were a kid, or if you're old enough that you wished you could play with Legos while your kids were playing with the Legos when they were kids, then yes, this is an awesome game, because it's basically like a giant box of Legos, and you just gather whatever pieces you want, and you put it all together, and it's awesome. This also allows you to do some serious exploration. It's something we don't get to do very often in real life, just because pretty much everything has been explored. I know there's unexplored areas on the planet, don't get me wrong, but how many of us really get to go on like a exploration somewhere? It doesn't happen, but this gives us the opportunity to do exploring, and we can make maps and all of that. It allows you to do farming, you can do resource gathering, you can build electronic devices using the redstone systems. Essentially, it's very much like a build your own world kind of thing. So if you've ever wanted to play God, so to speak, or like rule over a city, or just build something from scratch without anything existing there previously and just like stand back and marvel at what you've done at the end of it, then this is a great game for that. All right, so that answers the first question, why craft. Now we're going to take a look at world creation. Now, initially, you're probably going to be doing single player stuff just because, it's a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about other people um, and what they're doing and so forth and so on. So, um, we're actually going to start out there. World creation for multiplayer is not really as hard. Generally, someone already has a world set up, and they give you the IP, and you add it, and you go to that. And that's something we will cover later on. And of course, Minecraft Realms is a multiplayer thing where you pay Minecraft to host a world for you and your friends, and that's that. And of course, there's a bunch of options, and that's for another episode because there's a bunch. So we'll go into single player. And normally this would be completely blank. These are just worlds that I have set up for different things. So what you want to do is actually go to create new world. And we're actually going to go ahead and create one for the tutorial series. So you guys get to help me with that. So this is just your world name, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to call it Minecraft Academy. And I think I spelled it right, and if I didn't, you all can laugh at me later. Alright, the next, and one of the most important decisions you're going to be making at this point is what mode to play in. Survival is your typical vanilla style Minecraft experience. It is what I described up front, and it's what most people will be playing on. Now you also have hardcore, which is actually survival, but they make it a lot harder because it sets the difficulty too hard, locks it there, and it will actually erase your save file the first time your character dies. So, and there are ways around that. You can like do a backup copy of your file somewhere else so it doesn't necessarily get deleted. You only lose like so much progress or whatever, but it's not the place to start out if you're brand new to Minecraft. If you have played Minecraft and you're looking for more of a challenge, this can be a lot of fun. I would advise doing regular survival and like just locking it on hard first so you can kind of get used to how much damage the monsters will do and just the way everything works like that, and then you won't be super surprised at the difficulty of it, and you're just adding the element of only getting one life. And then of course you have creative mode. This doesn't necessarily make you invincible, but like monsters don't attack you. You have unlimited resources. You can fly, which you can't do in normal Minecraft. And you can destroy any block instantly. So it's very much just like if you want to have a giant Lego box and you don't want to worry about any of the survival stuff and you don't really feel the need to be challenged, you just want to be creative, this is a great game mode for that. So always a good option. And if you're just starting out, it's a good place to play and test your skills initially to make sure you kind of know the crafting system and all of that kind of stuff before you jump into a survival world, if that makes sense. But for our game type, we're going to be doing survival because, that's where the training is done. So you do also have considerably more world options, and we will look at that real quick. You have generated structures, which includes like villages and mine shafts and stuff. Now you can turn that on, or you can disable that if you want like a completely pristine, clean world that hasn't been touched at all. I will warn you though that if you turn generated structures off, that means you are not going to get strongholds, which prevent you from going to the end, so you kind of miss part of the game. Like, you won't be able to get some of the achievements, you won't be able to like finish the storyline thing, and there's a couple farm options that won't be available just because you can't get to this other area. Aside from that, I personally like playing on the pristine worlds just because it's nice to not have to like deal with generated structures that you have to tear down or go through or fancy up to make it like meet the standards of what you're doing. But you know, that's just me. You have an allow cheats option, which allows you to change your game mode and change the time of day, and it basically lets you use server commands, so that's all that is. Now you have the bonus chest option, which will start you off next to a chest with some basic tools and whatnot just to kind of get you started. So if you're unfamiliar with the crafting system initially, you can grab stuff out of the bonus chest and just start gathering resources, build a basic shelter, and then kind of figure out the crafting stuff from there. And of course you have a world type thing that lets you go do other stuff. Now it's set to default right now, and there's other options, and we'll take a look at that real quick, but real fast. Up here, you can usually just leave this blank because you want like a random world. But if you're wanting something specific, or like you want to see what your world would be if you typed in whatever, you can just put something here. I'm actually going to put in Minecraft Academy as the seed, and that way if you guys want to create your own world that's a copy of this one to play along on, you can do that. Just type Minecraft Academy into the seed generator, and that will do all that. Now, world type, you can switch to different stuff. Super flat is just like a really completely flat world. Large biomes is just each of the different like if you ran into a desert, it would just be really big compared to what it normally is. Amplified is a new world type that they've added very recently, and what it does is it takes advantage of more of the height limit in the world, so it will generate mountains and stuff that go further up than they would have in the old game. And then you have just a completely customized thing. And of course you have different options you can go into. Gives you each of the generated structures, and you can pick individually which ones you want generated. You can change the biome size, you can set the number of dungeons, you can tell it if you want temples or caves or how many biomes or what kinds or whatnot, and you can even pull up presets. Which this is actually what I did for my LP series. Mountain Madness is the preset I used for that, and I made some custom modifications to it. But you kind of get the idea. You've got Caves of Chaos and Good Luck, which is just like a giant lava world. But you kind of get the idea. So we are not going to be using a preset. And just real quick, we'll go through here. We've got next page. You got different world settings, and you can lower the maximum height, you can adjust different things, and most of this doesn't really matter. Like, you've got all the specific ores that you can mine and how many you want to have and how high they can spawn up. And so for instance, like this is diamond ore. The maximum height you will find this at is layer 16. You can adjust that so you can find it all the way up to layer 255 if you want to be cheaty or whatever. And let's put that back where it was though. Spawn size you can increase. Spawn tries you can increase to kind of generate more, and you get the idea. Next page is your advanced settings, which you really don't want to mess with at all. You've got like noise generation stuff, which adjusts how flat the world is essentially. So instead of just being completely flat, it'll generate like little dips and little hills and what's called noise in map making. And then extra advanced settings is a bunch of stuff you don't need to worry about at all. Unless you're an expert, and honestly, I'm not even that expert, so I don't really mess with that. Let's set everything back to defaults. And click Done, because we are going to use the default world type with generated structures on, just so I can show you everything. We'll keep the bonus chest off, and we won't allow cheats because I'm going to show you how to do everything the honest way. We can click Done there, and we can do Create New World. And we will wait as the computer generates a brand new world for us to play in. It can take some time. I actually have a pretty decent computer, so it usually doesn't take too super long. If it does take a little longer than that, don't worry. It doesn't mean that like your computer's bad or anything. It's just takes some time occasionally. So this is our world. Alright guys, well that kind of answers both the questions for this episode. In the next episode we will be taking a look at what you do initially in your new world. So thanks for watching. I have been Chauncey J. Kent. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to leave a like, and if you'd like to see more of this series or others I have going on, or just want to support the channel because you're one of those awesome people, be sure to subscribe so you can get more of this great and awesome content. But thank you for watching, guys, and as always, I will talk at you later.